Alright, so getting into the Thunder stats. They were the number 1 seed in the West this year. It was a 2-1 series versus the Pelicans. They had a 111.5 offensive rating versus the Pels and a 102.5 defensive rating versus the Pels. So their 111.5 offensive rating is the 3rd worst versus any team this year. So they really struggle playing against the Pelicans. I think their length and their athleticism poses a threat for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But overall, the Thunder have been really good this year, man. They're 8th in 3-point makes this year, number 1 in 3-point percentage, so they get a lot of guys open looks, mainly SGA's ability to get into the paint. Guys collapse in, they kick out the guys. Lou Dort has been solid. Jalen Williams a good 3-point shooter. And even Kason Wallace, Chet Holmgren are all really good 3-point shooters. So that works in their favor as well. But versus the Pels, they're making 10.7 3-point makes in the 3 games versus the Pels. That's the 2nd worst versus any team this season. And they're shooting that at a 31.7% clip. That's also the 2nd worst versus any team this season. So as you can see, there is some matchup problems that the Thunder face versus the Pelicans. Jalen Williams, though, I think Jalen Williams would be a really big X factor against the Pelicans. He's averaging 20 points per game versus the Pels this season, and I do think he's going to have a favorable matchup when it comes to them being on offense. I do think Herb Jones will guard SGA, which I think will take SGA out the game somewhat, even though I do think he'll get his stats relatively, just not as efficient. So I think Jalen Williams could step up and actually average 20 to 23 points. I think that'll go a long way for the Thunder, just kind of giving them that second option that's very reliable. Chet Holmgren, he actually played very well versus the Pelicans, averaging 11 rebounds, which is good because the Thunder is not a very good defensive rebounder team, averaging 14 points as well. So what can the Thunder do? All right, they're 1st in the league in steals. 1st in steals. Top 7 in fast break points. All right, so they turn guys over and they get out on a break and they run. They're a very young, youthful team. So if you get these guys to transition, they're gonna beat you. They're gonna most likely blow you out. But in the playoffs, things do slow down a little bit. I don't expect that to be as much of a factor. But if you do turn the ball over, they will run out on you. So I do think the Pelicans kind of have to guard against that. Now, without Zion Williamson, they really have to be very efficient on their threes. All right, on the Pelicans side, all right, obviously they have no Zion. That's a big blow for these guys. Sometimes that's how the game goes, man. Injuries happen. Got to play through it. Next guy up, all right? Can the Pelicans make threes, all right? I think that's going to be one of their biggest swing factors in this series, just because the Thunder aren't a great team and guarding the 3. They're actually 3rd worst in opponent 3-point makes this season. So maybe the Pelicans take advantage of that. They have guys like CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy. So CJ McCollum made 4.2 threes a game his last 20 games. So he's been scorching hot, been going crazy. Trey Murphy's a great shooter. He shoots 1.18 points on spot-up possessions. That's 85th percentile in the league. Great 3-point shooter. CJ McCollum is also very good as that as well. Can they also get second chance points? They're bigger than OKC. OKC is not a great defensive rebounder team. Jonas Valanciunas is a big guy, big stocky guy. I think he should be able to dominate the boards against Chet, get these guys more possessions on offense, the Pelicans. And I think if they make threes and get more possessions, I think they'll give themselves a chance to win this series. I do think it'll be a close series because I do think the Pelicans match up well with the Thunder, but I don't know if they have enough firepower to keep up with the Thunder scoring without Zion Williamson. And Brandon Ingram right now, coming off an injury, hasn't been great. Kind of been up and down, iffy. So if he could get back to form, I could kind of see a chance the Pelicans could take this series, but he's going to have to get back to form. And CJ McCollum is going to have to play very well. Overall, on defense for the Pelicans, can they limit transition points? The Thunder are very great in transition, so they got to limit their turnovers as well. Herb Jones is going to be an X factor on SGA. So far, Herb Jones is a 109 defensive rating versus SGA. 109 defensive rating is really, really good. 112 defensive rating in general. So if he could hold SGA in check and kind of hold him to maybe like 20 to 25 points and not 30 to 35, I think that works in the Pelicans' favor. If he could kind of make him inefficient as well, I think that may frustrate SGA and may give the Pelicans a chance to, take a few games here and there. Well, overall, man, I think it's simple. No Zion, no win. So I'm just going to go Pelicans. I'm sorry. I'm going to go Thunder in 6. Thunder is 6. So that's going to be our prediction.